We're diving into a rare and mysterious Lincoln penny that collectors are hunting for right now. And if you own one, well, let's just say your life could change forever. But here's the catch, not everyone knows what to look for. Stick with me to the end, and I'll reveal exactly how to spot this million-dollar mistake in your collection. Let's rewind to 2006. The US Mint was producing billions of pennies, but something went very, very wrong. A rare minting error, an elusive mistake that slipped past inspectors and out into the world. The result? The No 2006 D Mark Lincoln penny. A coin so rare, even top collectors are scrambling to find one. But here's the thing. Most people wouldn't even recognize it if they held it in their hands. It looks just like a regular penny at first glance. And that is exactly why it's so valuable. Because only a few sharp-eyed individuals know its secret. So what makes this penny worth up to $2 million? And how can you cash in? Let's break it down. First, rarity drives value. There are only a handful of these pennies known to exist. In fact, some experts believe there could be as few as 5 left in circulation. That means that every coin collector, investor, and auction house is on the hunt. Second, demand is through the roof. In recent auctions, rare Lincoln pennies have shattered records. A single error penny sold for $1.70 million. Another, $1.80 million. And experts predict the value will only continue to rise. So if you have one of these No 2006 D Mark Lincoln pennies, congratulations. You might just be sitting on a fortune. But how do you actually spot one? What details should you be looking for? Here's where things get really interesting. Alright, grab your magnifying glass because this is where million-dollar mistakes hide in plain sight. The key to identifying the No 2006 D Mark Lincoln penny lies in... That's right. This rare penny was struck without the D mint mark that should appear under the date. And here's where it gets even wilder. The error wasn't caught until after the coins had already entered circulation. So check your 2006 pennies carefully.
No, they?
You could be sitting on a gold mine. Now, if you do find one, don't just run to your local coin dealer. Here's the worst mistake you could make. Selling it too soon. The best way to get top dollar? You need authentication. Professional grading from services like PCGS or NGC will verify its rarity and skyrocket its value at auction. Here's the big question. Could you be holding a million-dollar penny right now? The only way to know is to start checking your collection. And trust me, you do not want to be the person who unknowingly spends a fortune on a cup of coffee. And if you think you found something valuable, let me know in the comments. I'll be sharing more insider tips on rare coins, so make sure you're subscribed. Who knows? The next millionaire might just be you. For most people, a penny is just a penny. But for smart collectors, it's a lottery ticket disguised as pocket change. Let me tell you a story. Back in the 1980s, a small but shocking minting error occurred at the Denver Mint. A batch of 1984 Lincoln pennies were struck with a mistake so rare that collectors are willing to pay millions for one. Just think, how many rare pennies have slipped through your fingers over the years? How much wealth have you unknowingly given away? Now, let's get to the exciting part, how you can tell if you have one of these million-dollar pennies. Alright, let's talk details. What makes this penny worth so much? And more importantly, how can you spot one? The 1984 D Mark Lincoln penny has a crucial error, a double die obverse. This means that if you look closely at Lincoln's face, his earlobe appears doubled. It's subtle, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. And that small mistake, that's what makes it worth a fortune. People have found them in old coin collections, in inherited estates, and even in rolls of pennies from the bank. Just last year, one sold for over $3.8 million at an auction. Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing you're sitting on a coin worth that much. And before we move on, quick question. When was the last time you... Yeah, I thought so. Don't wait. If you have a 1984 D penny, grab a magnifying glass and look at Lincoln's earlobe. If it's doubled, you just hit the jackpot. The best way to confirm your penny's value is to send it to a professional coin grading service. If it's legit, they'll certify it, and then /auctions, private collectors, and online marketplaces are all waiting for the next rare find. But don't just sell it anywhere. Make sure you're getting the best possible deal. Rare coins like this don't stay hidden forever. Every year, more are found and more are sold. But the supply is limited. And with demand rising, the longer you wait, the more you risk missing out on the biggest payday of your life. So don't be the person who lets millions slip through their fingers. Check your collection. And who knows? You might just be sitting on a fortune. Now, if you found this video valuable, imagine how much more you could learn about other rare and valuable coins. LL reveal another rare penny. One that's worth even more than the 1984-DS. So hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and stay tuned, because you won't want to miss what's coming. You're walking past a coin jar. Maybe you're about to dump some pennies in a machine. Stop. What if I told you that one of those pennies could be worth up to, yes, you heard that right, a simple, everyday Lincoln penny, like the one you've probably seen 100 times, could be your golden ticket to wealth. They spend or throw away a fortune without realizing it. And by the time they do, too late. Someone else finds it and cashes in. Stay with me, because in the next I'm going to reveal the key details that make it worth up to $1 million, and how you can turn your old coins into a life-changing fortune. You're digging through an old coin jar, and you come across a . You glance at it, ready to toss it aside. A small detail, a subtle error, or a rare variation makes it worth not just a penny. But now, before we get into what exactly to look for, let me tell you a quick story. A man in Ohio almost spent a rare penny at a gas station, only to later discover it was worth thousands. Had he tossed it, someone else would be living his dream right now. And that brings us to the key question. Some 2016 Lincoln pennies were struck with mistakes that collectors go wild for. Look for off-center strikes or even missing mint marks that weren't meant for circulation but somehow ended up in public hands. These can fetch at auction. If you have a nearly perfect, uncirculated penny with a rare error, that's where we're talking big money. Some have sold for close to. If you have one of these rare pennies sitting in your home, you might be sitting on a fortune. But you need to act fast, because coin collectors and dealers are constantly hunting these down. Here's what you do right. I just mentioned. Take it to a coin dealer or auction house to get an expert opinion. And here's the best part. If you find one of these rare coins, you could be looking at it, but I have to warn you. There are out there preying on people who don't know what they have. Some will try to buy your rare penny for a fraction of its value. So before you do anything, make sure you know exactly what your coin is worth. Before we wrap up, let me ask you this: what if the key to your financial freedom is sitting right under? Because I have even more shocking rare coin discoveries coming soon. Single penny in your drawer, and realizing it could be worth up to sounds crazy, right? But guess what? A rare 1978 no-mark Lincoln penny has been spotted in auctions. And its value? Absolutely. But here's the catch: without ever realizing they're sitting on a fortune. Could you be one of them? Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you'll learn before it disappears into circulation forever. The 1978 Lincoln penny. At first glance, it looks just like any other penny, copper, small, ordinary. But this is where things get interesting. Most pennies from this year have a small letter under the date. But if yours has, congratulations. You might be holding. So, why is this tiny missing detail worth millions? The answer lies in also rare that only a handful exist. And collectors? They get their hands on them. In recent years, rare pennies have shattered records at auctions. The 1943 copper penny sold for over. A 1955 double-die penny has entered the game, with reports suggesting it could reach under the right conditions. But here's the everyday: rare coins like this are lost forever, mistakenly spent on vending machines, or worse, destroyed. Before you rush off to check your change jar, let me show you, because there's a small but crucial detail that separates a worthless penny from one that could make you a millionaire. Check right under the date. If there's a small D or S, sorry, your penny is normal. If there's, you're in the game. The closer your penny is to its original, shiny state, the some error coins have a slightly different weight. A gram scale can help you. Contact a reputable coin grading service like auction houses and private collectors are your best bet for if a buyer offers you a few $100. This penny is worth much, much more. Now, here's the million-dollar question: if you've got old pennies lying around, it's time to start checking. There are more rare coins out there worth a fortune. In fact, I've uncovered that could put even more money in your pocket. What to look for, why collectors are paying insane amounts for these pennies, and how you can turn a tiny piece of copper into a payday. They see the 2017 Lincoln penny was meant to be just another common coin in circulation. But due to a handful of these coins are now among the and guess what before we get into how much they're worth, let me ask you this, if not, you could be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. Let's talk numbers, because I know that's what you're here for. The 2017 Mark Lincoln penny can be worth anywhere from / to an astonishing. But only so, what makes these pennies so valuable? / some 2017 pennies were struck with doubling errors, misalignments, or off-metal compositions that make them certain limited editions and misprints from the Denver and Philadelphia mints have created. If you find one of these rare pennies in / its value skyrockets. Because collectors will pay a premium for coins that look untouched by time. Here's the crazy part. People have actually sold these pennies for prices at auctions. One lucky seller walked away with / for a single coin. So, let me ask you, have you checked your wallet yet? Great question. Here's what you need to do. Look for any unusual markings, misprints, or odd textures. Some of these rare details are incredibly small, so you'll want to get a close-up view. Places like PCGS, NGC, or heritage auctions can help you verify if your coin is valuable. The market for rare coins is hot right now, but trends can change. And here's something most people don't realize. The rare coin market is full of sharks. If you don't know what you're doing, that's why it's crucial to do your research and work with. So now that you know a single penny could be your / what are you going to do? Are you going to let your fortune slip through your fingers? Or are you going to check your change before you go? Hit the button if you found this valuable / for more rare coin discoveries. And if you've ever found a valuable coin before, / we're talking about a rare Mark Lincoln penny. An ultra-valuable coin that has collectors / to get their hands on it. Why? Because this little piece of copper could turn you into a millionaire overnight. But here's the catch, not all Lincoln pennies are valuable. You need to know what to look for, and if you miss this, you could accidentally a $2 million payday. Let's make sure that doesn't happen. So, before you go digging through your couch cushions like a treasure hunter on a budget, let's break this down step by step. Alright, let's get to the $1 million question. What makes the Mark Lincoln penny so rare? It all comes down to date variations and historical significance / the most valuable Lincoln pennies, but not just any, only certain ones with a rare minting error. If your penny has a U, could be in luck. Some 1991 pennies were struck on older / instead of zinc. These mistakes make them the higher the grade, the higher the value. A Mark Lincoln penny in can skyrocket in price. But here's the kicker. Most people / how to spot these rare details. And that means some of these $1 million pennies are slipping right through people's hands / don't let that be you. Asterisk, and now, the moment you've been waiting for. How much are these rare pennies actually for in today's market? You won't believe what collectors are paying for them right now. In the past year alone, we've seen verified sales of these rare Mark Lincoln pennies hitting jaw-dropping figures. / tomorrow and realizing a tiny coin in your collection is worth more than the best part? There are still / Mark Lincoln pennies out there, just waiting to be found. But here's the thing, the market for rare pennies is heating up. Collectors are willing to pay big right now, but as demand rises, finding these coins in circulation gets harder. So, if you want to cash in before prices shift / look for the key details we covered. Next, get your rare coins. I'll link some trusted resources below. And finally, if you find one of these $1 million pennies, because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. If you learned something new, and / for more ways to turn forgotten treasures into life-changing wealth. We're diving deep into the mysterious Mark Lincoln penny, one of the rarest, most valuable coins in existence. But if you don't know what to look for, you could be letting a life-changing fortune slip right through your fingers. Stay with me until the end because I'm about to reveal exactly what makes this coin so special, how to identify one, and the best way to sell it for top dollar. And trust me, you don't want to miss the details on this one so incredibly valuable. To understand that, let's rewind the clock. All the way back to the US Mint was producing billions of pennies, but somehow creating a tiny batch of pennies unlike any others. These error coins weren't supposed to exist. Yet, against all odds, they made it into circulation. For decades, collectors and treasure hunters have been searching for them, and every so often, one appears, sending the numismatic world into a frenzy. One of these pennies recently sold for at auction. But before you run to check your coin jar, let's break down exactly what you need to look for. So how do you know if you're sitting on a fortune? This particular coin has a very unique and almost hidden mint mark that sets it apart. I'll show you exactly where to check in just a moment. A regular penny weighs backslash, but this rare error coin is slightly different. A tiny weight difference could mean a huge payday. Backslash, look closely at the numbers on the date. Some versions have a slight doubling effect, which collectors go absolutely crazy for. Backslash, and this is where things get serious. Because if you don't handle this coin the right way, you could accidentally backslash. If you believe you have one of these rare pennies, do not clean it. I repeat, many people make this mistake, thinking they're making their coin look better, but in reality, can destroy its value. Take it to a professional coin grading service, like they will confirm whether you've struck gold or, in this case, copper. This ensures you don't get ripped off by shady buyers who might offer you a fraction of its true worth. Auctions like or high-end coin dealers specialize in rare finds like this. The right buyer could turn your pocket change into so. What if I told you that are still floating around out there? And what if you could be the next person to cash in big? I'll reveal, including one that could be sitting in your wallet right now. But first, check your pennies, because that tiny coin in your hand, or your house, or your entire retirement fund. But what if I told you that penny could be worth up to? Sounds crazy, right? Well, there's a rare Mark Lincoln penny out there, and if you have it, your life could change overnight. But here's the catch: most people don't even know what to look for, and they end up spending a fortune disguised as spare change. Before you toss that penny in the tip jar, because by the end of this video you'll know exactly its current market value and whether you might be sitting on a small fortune. Let's rewind. How did this rare Mark Lincoln penny come to be? The year was 1989, a time when mullets were still a thing, the Berlin Wall was coming down, and something unusual happened at the US Mint. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, minting error? Big deal. Let me tell you, these tiny mistakes are what separate an ordinary penny from and here's where things get really interesting. Some of these 1989 Lincoln pennies were struck using the wrong die, a mistake so rare that collectors are just to get their hands on one. On the back of your penny, look near the Lincoln Memorial. If the initials are, congratulations, you just hit step 1. This means Lincoln's face or the inscriptions appear slightly doubled. No, your eyes aren't playing tricks on you. Some versions of this penny were accidentally struck on the wrong type of planchet, making them ultra-valuable. Backslash onto your seat, because recent auctions have seen these rare pennies selling for, that's right, a simple penny, turned into life-changing money. The longer you wait, the more competition you'll have. Seriously, don't be the person who unknowingly gives away a fortune. Reputable coin grading services like PCGS or NGC can confirm if you have the real deal. Auctions, collectors, and online marketplaces are the best places to cash in big. So what are you waiting for? Grab that jar of pennies, check every single one, and see if you've got the 1989 Mark Lincoln penny worth up to $1 million. And hey, if you found this valuable, with someone who might have a hidden fortune in their pocket, why it's worth so much and how you can sell it for top dollar. And trust me, you don't want to miss this, because if you accidentally spend one of these pennies at a gas station, well, let's just say you'd be making the most expensive mistake of your life. Alright, let's get straight to it. The 1977 No Mark Lincoln penny is rare because it was minted in Philadelphia, but, unlike most Philly coins, it lacks a mint mark. Normally, that wouldn't be a big deal. But here's where it gets interesting. A small batch of these pennies was struck using a high-quality planchet, meaning better metal composition, sharper details, and a unique luster. Combine that with its scarcity, and collectors are willing to pay big money. One of these pennies sold at auction for over $1 million. And before you think, nah, I'll never find one of those, think again. These coins are still out there, hiding in old collections, piggy banks, and even your car's cup holder. Quick question. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny before tossing it in a drawer? Exactly. But after this video, you might just start checking every single one. So what makes one of these pennies worth just 1 cent? And another worth millions? If your 1977 No Mark penny is in pristine, uncirculated condition, it's a jackpot. Even slightly worn ones can still be valuable. Some of these pennies have rare minting errors, like double die strikes or off-center prints. These mistakes send values skyrocketing. Backslash right now, Rare coin collectors are hungry for unique pieces. And when demand is high, prices explode. And here's where the urgency kicks in. The rare coin market is heating up. More collectors, more buyers, higher prices. But as history shows, trends don't last forever. The window to sell at peak value is open right now, but it won't stay open forever. But wait, before you go dumping out every coin jar in sight, you need to know how to authenticate and sell it the right way. Otherwise, you could get scammed or undersell your penny for way less than it's worth. Take it to a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. If it's legit, they'll grade it and give you an official valuation. Avoid pawn shops. Instead, list it at an auction house like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, where serious collectors bid big. Don't settle for the first offer. If a collector wants it badly, you can leverage competition to drive the price up. And before you ask, yes, people have walked away with life-changing money just by selling a single penny. Check your old coin stash. Look through your drawers, your piggy banks, your grandma's collection. And if you find a 1977 no-mark Lincoln penny, do not spend it. Instead, drop a comment below and let me know what you find. And if you want to learn about even more rare coins worth millions, hit that subscribe button, because I'm about to reveal another shocking coin discovery in the... But here's the thing. Most people don't even realize they're sitting on a fortune. The rare 1980 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is out there, and it could be hiding in your home right now. Miss this, and you might unknowingly spend a life-changing coin on a cup of coffee. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to identify this rare penny and turn it into cold, hard. In 1980, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia produced a batch of pennies. But something went very, very wrong. The usual mint mark, a small P below the date, was missing from some of them. A simple error, but in the world of coin collecting, that mistake turned an ordinary penny into $1 million jackpot. Now, let's pause for a second. When's the last time you actually looked at your pennies? If you're like most people, probably never. But after today, I guarantee you'll be checking every single one. And here's a fun fact. A few of these 1980 no-mint mark pennies have sold for jaw-dropping amounts at auctions. One even went for over $1.80 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny worth more than a luxury mansion. But how do you know if you have one of these rare pennies? And more importantly, what should you do if you find one? First, grab any 1980 Lincoln pennies you have and examine them closely. If there's no tiny P mint mark under the date, your heart should start racing because you might have hit the jackpot. But wait, before you go quitting your job and booking a one-way ticket to paradise, let's talk about the condition. Coin value isn't just about rarity. It's about condition, too. Collectors are willing to pay big money for coins in pristine condition. Those with sharp details, no scratches, and full luster. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Even if your 1980 no-mint mark penny isn't in perfect shape, it could still be worth thousands. I mean, would you turn down an easy $5, $10, or even $50,000 for a penny? Didn't think so. Now, here's the million-dollar question, literally. Where can you sell it? And how can you get the absolute maximum value? You have options. Auctions are a great way to get top dollar, but only if you know how to navigate them. Online marketplaces, coin dealers, and rare coin expos can also fetch huge sums, if you know what to say and who to trust. And trust me, there are scammers out there who would love to get their hands on your rare penny for pennies on the dollar. Don't let that happen. You're holding a 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. You list it in the right place, find the right buyer, and suddenly, your bank account has an extra 6 or 7 figures. What would you do first? Buy a new house? Travel the world? Maybe finally get that dream car? But here's the catch. These pennies are being found and sold every day. The question is, will you be the next success story? Or will you let a life-changing opportunity slip through your fingers? If you're serious about cashing in on rare pennies, don't stop here. Check your collection now. And if you want more tips on spotting rare and valuable coins, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. I'll be revealing even more hidden treasures that could be worth millions.